Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Not Just a Trend. I'm your host, Shiko, and um, I've just been dealing with life a little bit, and I just really hope that you enjoyed the first episode ever. I enjoyed recording it, trying to figure it out, and kind of being able to see what happens behind the scenes of how podcasts are created and being able to do this. But something that I have been struggling recently is resting. And I've been seeking it. Like, I've been wanting to be able to say, no, I'm not coming here. But then I realize I'm like, I can't, my life can't be just work because that's not a healthy, balanced lifestyle. And, um, and it's unfortunate because even if I'm working, I'm barely making enough to pay my bills, which is not where I want to be. That's not where I know God has for me. But this is a season I'm in. And I've just been struggling because what happens is that I would be like, I need to sleep in or I need to rest. But then also I'm like, then the idea of being evicted or losing my car or having an overpayment on something has been on my mind and has been like giving me headache. But there is a purpose and a reason for everything. And one of them is just to understand that sometimes it's okay to say no. So, where am I going with this? So, basically, I would want to hang out with my friends, but then I'm exhausted. And prime example was yesterday. I had work. My work is basically 4 a.m. to 9, and after that, I had something else I had to do. And as soon as I got home, I just passed out. Like, I just slept, and I slept until 6 p.m. And when I tell you, between the time I got home and the time I was sleeping, it was like I was in a daze where it wasn't that I was present, but also at the same time my body was screaming sleep. And sometimes we might feel like we need to do all these things to make it through the day or even just be able to relate to other people. And so sometimes we forget that the cost for it is insane because our body's screaming, our mind is like, I can't even think or function anymore. I just need to sleep. And for the past 2 weeks, it's just been work, 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 work. And this week, I finally got a chance to just rest. And also, it is Christmas, so, but it it is what it is, right? And I think I have been seeking for it for the past month that I haven't just been doing. And even the days where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a day off. Like, even, yeah, so last week as well, I took um I took Tuesday off. Yes, it's gonna affect my check, but that's the unfortunate reality. Okay, I'm gonna like steer left for a little bit. But ever since I moved to America, I realized how much this is a consumerism country. And what I'm trying to say is that what you make determines how much you're gonna pay off your bills. And it's how much you work will be able to determine that. And I'm just like, wow, like, y'all be out here slaving sometimes because you really have to like think about it, figure out if it's something that you want to continue doing or if it's worth the stress on your body and your heart and all the fun stuff that comes with it. But going back to what I mean when it's a cost is because it's costing your body the time to rest. And I remember even like 3, 4 weeks ago, I was basically like working Amazon, another shift, Amazon, another shift. Like, I was like on and on and on and on to the point when it came to like a Saturday, I was like, I'm craving to see people. But even the time I was like, I need to spend time with people, I felt drained because all my jobs require me to talk or use physical strength or anything or something related to that, and it just like I'm telling you, that was a week that I was just like, no. And it was the first time ever where I said I'm gonna take time and just sit and not go to church and just watch online. And but it was like because of rest, and even in the Bible, God took time to rest too. Like he made the heavens, the earth, the people, everything that we see today, he made it. And then he took the day and said, I'm going to rest today because everything was good. And so we sometimes need to be like, all right, everything's okay. I'm just going to rest and sit, sleep in, watch that favorite movie, read your Bible, or read your favorite book, catch up, try and clean up your house, try and clean up your room. Because rest can just isn't just like sleeping, but also rest could be you getting your life back together to where you feel is worth it. Um, but that's the biggest. And I have a question that I want to kind of like put out there for you and take a moment to like sit with your notebook and just um write down what causes you to not sleep. Majority of us would say money, bills, financial strain, depression, anxiety, insomnia. It doesn't matter what it is, but just write it down. And then this week, I just want to challenge you to like actually take time, whatever it is, to rest. Whether it's even on Christmas Day, waking up and just making your hot cocoa and taking a nap on the couch again. And so that when you get back to work the next day, you're rested, you're excited, and you can fulfill your job in the best way possible. Um, yeah, so even people who are in higher management, check on your people and say, like, are you actually taking time and not worrying about work outside of work? Um, that was one thing I did in my previous job was even when I was supposed to be resting, I was working. And I enjoyed, sometimes it's good to enjoy what you do, but sometimes it's you can overdo that and say like I love doing this, so I'm going to do this till late and everything, but at the cost of rest, so that even when you're talking to your people and people are asking you questions, you're not at your full capacity to be able to answer them or even say what's on your mind. As Christmas is here and we're planning on just hanging out with family and spending time together, I just challenge you before you get to the office, have a little bit more time to rest. And if you don't have a chance to, the weekend is here as well. And just learning how to say no and just staying in and playing games with family and don't have to like catch up on a lot of things. Somebody who um, lives alone and is always like trying to find time to hang out with my friends, it can get really hectic trying to find time. And I feel like we all feel it where it's like, okay, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Just spending like taking time off your day to be able to hear what's going on and catching up with people is also a form of just relaxing. But if it gets a little too tasking, I just say that it's time to just hang out at your house and just watch a movie, snuggle in a blanket on your couch or in your bedroom, just depending on where you have your TV. Um, but another thing that I've been like seeking to take a break from was social media, and I have finally done that. And I feel like as I listen to other podcasts, especially towards the end of the year, where everyone's kind of taking a break from socials, I kind of like prayed about it like 2 months ago, and I was like, okay, I really need to take a break because social media has become such a um, dark space in a lot of our lives where we're always looking at what other people are doing, and sometimes it can get really negative and very dark very fast. So I would say just being able to not be on social media this month has been a great little break for me, which is why I can't wait to get back so that I can create a page for this podcast where you guys can connect and follow on Instagram and Facebook. But it can be a good thing to take a break because like the peace I have, like I don't wake up the first thing I'm checking on social media to see. It is good to know what's going on in other people's lives, especially like family. um I know that's where I get to connect with family, friends from back home, and just to see what they're up to during their day. Because when I wake up, a day is already fully gone and they're going into nighttime. So it's kind of good to see what people are up to. But also, it gets really um, sad because, especially if you're not in the space you want to be in, which I'm not, and from financially to mentally to everything else in between. Um, but this break has taught me to spend more time with God and spend more time with myself. And I even noticed that, like, even if you like sitting in a room full of people, there's about 2 to 3 people on their phones, not doing anything productive, but actually being on TikTok scrolling endlessly, or on Instagram scrolling, um, and it doesn't make sense. I feel with social media, we've all kind of lost this way of connecting with one another. And a break is always really good because you go back to the human connection of things. I was telling someone, I'm like, man, I wish I grew up in the time where either we were sending each other letters or having to meet up and telling you, like, hey, meet me here tomorrow at 3 p.m. And that was that time's version of getting connected and even like finding someone that is more um, suitable for you. And so you found ways to do stuff that were more tangible than just being like going out for dinner and one of you is on their phone checking messages as soon as they come in. And our phones have become our space. So with this break, I'm learning how to actually be present. But then what's sad is when I'm present, not everybody else is. And so you're just like stuck where you're just like, oh man. And I get irritated, but I'm like, wait, it's okay. It's a me thing. But for real. But I think it comes with discipline, and that's what majority of my break is for. It's to discipline myself, to spend time with God and enjoying it. So if you want to take a break from social media, I say do it. Even if it is part of your business and your job, I would say find a good balance of like what I used to do as a social media manager, digital content creator. I would get off social media at about like 7 p.m. and kind of just chill. And because I know with content creation you might get to a phase where it gets a little harder and like hectic because your clients are very demanding. I remember while I was in Kenya, I had clients who were would be here, and so like I would be working night time to get content out daytime here. And so it kind of messed with my sleep schedule and my presence at home too. And so finding the balance as to when to say yes and when to say no is very important when it comes to content creation and being a digital marketer. Um, but now that I'm finally taking a break after God knows how many years, um, it's finally giving me a chance to realize what I like and what I don't. And that's my form of my break, my rest from social media. And like it's low key, it's gonna sound very um ignorant a little bit, but I enjoy not knowing what's going on in people's lives right now for the season I'm in. And it's allowing me to be like, when I'm back, I'll be like, oh my gosh, congratulations on this, and all these fun things that everyone is going through and getting through, and like celebrating with you from the good and the bad, but also it challenges other people to actually look for you through messages instead of looking for you through Instagram or Facebook. Um, yeah, and then maybe next year we might not have TikTok. Oh, that's gonna be crazy. Which is good. I realized how addictive TikTok is. Like I remember at the beginning of this year, I took a social media fast and I took a break. I was doing great, and then halfway through the year, I found myself going back to scrolling aimlessly on TikTok, and Instagram has created its own version of what TikTok looks like, but with the pictures that we all know from years ago of what it started as. And just um, knowing the darkness of what social media could look like, I just would rather take the break. But I always say use your discernment, use your what God's calling you to do. Um, but when you get a chance, just take a break. It's good for everybody. And I'm just gonna challenge myself to rest this season until I'm back, and I can fully go ham on creating content for this podcast and other projects that I hope to be doing soon. The New Year's is going to be great. I just know it. I can see it and I can feel it. And I just hope that it's going to be great for everybody. This year has been interesting, hard, but good. But a good, hard learning and growing um, for myself. Um, through different things. I know a lot of people have a shift in their lives that's happened this year, but I know next year is just going to be a lot of growth, and it's going to be good growth. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you here. I hope you hear me in a couple of weeks. Um I'm not taking a break fully from my 2 episodes. Ha. I'm probably going to just do another episode for next week and then try and be consistent throughout the year, nonstop. Because now we have a microphone, now we can chill and just enjoy it. I would like to hear from you. So on Instagram, follow me at shiko.maya, and I will send me DMs. Let me hear from you. I would love to connect for us to be able to um, just bond. I'm learning how to actually text back, because if anyone knew me from the past, I was a texter. Now when I realize people don't really want to give you the same energy you do, I backed away from that, which is probably um, the sadness of moving here. But before I leave, I would like to leave you with a verse, Psalms 4:8. I will both lie down in peace and sleep, for you, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. And I just want that for all of us, is especially me. I'm like, I seek to rest in the presence of God. And I there are days when I know, like when I pray before I go to bed, my rest is gonna be magnifico. Um, but like when I don't, it's not like I don't sleep well, but there's just a difference in sleeping knowing that God's presence is with you, like He is there, and that's the type of rest I want. Is that to always understand that through hardship, through the stresses, and especially when I randomly wake up in odd hours of the night, 3 a.m., 12 a.m., 1 a.m., when I'm like resting, when I'm not working, um, I find myself now praying and saying, God, like, I can't sleep. Lord, help me. Like, help me find the rest that you talk about throughout the Bible. Like, he says, "Come to me and I will give you rest," and that's how I'm paraphrasing it. Um, but and that's me every single day. I'm like, I want to come to you and I want that rest that you have been talking about so badly. But also your choices matter. Um, so I just wanted to thank you all for making it all this way throughout this podcast. I appreciate you listening to me ramble. Um, and I hope that in the next that you've taken something away and that you get to ponder on the question that I gave you. It and another one that could possibly that you can probably journal about or talk to a friend who's your accountability partner could be, what ways could you challenge yourself to find rest next year or this year, even when work is hectic and even when your life is hectic and are you don't want your friendships to filter away. I just hope that as I'm seeking rest, you're also seeking rest. And if you found it, good for you. I appreciate you. But I'm still looking for it. I'm still finding time to rest, um, and also learning how to say no. But before I continue for another 20 minutes, I just want to thank you guys, and please share this link with somebody that you feel will resonate with this episode. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next one. We're now on Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. I'm working on everything else, but you will find my podcast there. And till the next one, I will see you guys. Stay blessed, stay true to yourself, and love you. Bye.